Hi, I'm Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and this is a handover of the Bailey Compact Approach 540, which is a 2015 model. So as we start, we'll walk around on the driver's side of the vehicle. The first point you come to is your freshwater intake. So you've got two options of filling this vehicle. You do need to use a wheel pump. You can get one that's got the pump on the end and you put into an aqua roll or container of water. It's simply that fits in there. Then you go in and turn tank filling on in the settings, which I'll show you on the main control panel. Or you can get the fit in there that goes to a hose pipe and you simply connect to a tap, and that's how you fill with fresh water. So you may want to carry a small collapsible 5-litre drum with you, just in case you do want to fill like this, which is more of a wild camping way than a hose pipe. Next week you've got your Aldi vent, so just make sure that's obstruction free. Your boiler's there, so that just allows all the fumes out. And below you've got your wastewater, so anything you've put down a plug hole goes into a holding tank, and it's very important that you drain it off. So normally on the way out of the site you'd go to your waste, your motorhome service point, and it'll say grey waste, and you just drive over it and open it and dump your grey waste. And especially in the winter you want to drain this off, as you don't want it to freeze in the tanks underneath the vehicle, because that isn't covered under warranty and it could freeze and really bust your tank, which would mean that you would be having to replace that, and that's expensive, so allow that out. You've got your Vision Plus external TV point here, so say you went to a super site, you carry a bit of coax with you and connect to their aerial should you be struggling to get a signal in the hard to reach sites like the lakes. And at the back we've got your LPG, so this is liquid petroleum gas. This is where your gas locker lives. So we've got our test bottle on at the moment in here, so it takes two 6-kilogram bottles in there, and you'd want a gas spanner adjustable wrench. It's a left hand thread, so opposite threads with it being gas, and then you want to hand tighten and then nip up with a spanner. Turn on and off, obviously turned off when you're traveling. Always make sure it's tied down when you're traveling. Turn it on, press the green button, allows it through the crash valve. Press the button on the regulator, allows it in the vehicle, and then you can use the gas. And also you can see on the back you've got your chassis number, MTPLM, and then your max axle weights there on the back. And then coming around to the back of the vehicle, so you've got your high level brake light, your reverse camera, your bike rack. So you've got two bike rack on here, so lift that down, put your bikes on the rails, through these spokes, ties down the rails, and then these through onto the crossbars to hold the crossbars on there. And then you probably want some sort of security on there, like a bike lock, but that's up to you. Behind you've got your toilet, and on this toilet system you've got a separate reservoir. So what you've got to do with this one is you've got to fill the reservoir with, this is when your pink liquid comes in handy. So get yourself a watering can or a jug that you can mix your pink liquid solution with some water, pour it into there, and it'll fill your reservoir until basically it overflows. And then when you press the flush on the toilet, that's when you get that lovely pink fragrant smell for your flush. And then below you've got your cassette, so this is where everything ends up, and this is what you'll want to empty. So all your locks open with the Bailey key. Make sure the blade's closed and you'll be able to lift and slide out the cassette. You've got a handle on there so you can drag it to your waste disposal point, which is normally behind or beside your shower and toilet block on site. Remove this cap, press the button, tip it out. Once you've tipped it out, put some water in, put the cap back on, give it a rinse, tip back out again. And if you're using the liquid form of chemical, the inside of the cap is a 120mm measuring stick. Fill that with the liquid, either the blue or the green. Pour it in there if you're using the liquid, or if you're using the tablets, which are more environmentally friendly. Once you've cleaned the box out, the cassette, put it into the vehicle. Put a pint of water down the toilet, so either you can push a pint of water flush down into the toilet, or you can just simply open the blade and tip a pint of water into the toilet. And then you'll want to follow it by putting a tablet down, so either the blue or the green. Please ask your site which tablets they prefer you to use, or chemical, because most sites will want you to use the environmentally friendly green liquid or green tablets, as it's better for their cesspit tanks when they're getting rid of it. And then you'll notice on the bottom you've got your parking sensors, and then you've got a toolbar with 7-pin electric should you be planning on towing anything. On this side you've got a security handle, so you can use the little key here, pop it in there. This is just added security if you're leaving the vehicle anywhere, and it also helps as an aid to get in and out the vehicle. So you can pull this down, pull the handle out, and it'll help people get in and out, or you can put it over the door and lock it, and it's just an added security that nobody can get your habitation door open. The habitation door does work off the main central locking, so you open the top door at the front, you lock all the doors, and you open this door alone from the bottom, or if you want to manually open it you can do with the Bailey key. And then you do have storage locker here, so you can keep your leveling ramps, your hooker blade, your water pump, your hose pipe in there. And then you'll notice you've got your mains connectivity point, so you get your hooker blade, you expose the end, and you'd hook up like so. Always hook the vehicle first, then the site, and do it in reverse when unhooking, as we wouldn't want you to walk around with a live lead. And then when unhooking, there's a little small clip here on the left hand side, push that down and it'll make it easier to pull the hooker blade out. Beside the passenger door you do have your tyre pressure, or should I say, no you don't, you've got your diesel filler, which opens with your main ignition key. You've got your tyre pressures here, but please check these with the Bailey tyre pressures, which are in the top here, so you can see what difference it is with now being configured to a motorhome. Toolkits underneath here, so you've got a jack and a brace and a towing eye and a spare number plate should you be planning on towing. And then underneath the floor your engine battery lives in there, so you do have access for your engine battery, must come out through the floor, and your bonnet release is on the side of the dashboard. So if we have a quick look underneath the bonnet, I'll point out all your fluids. So to this side you've got your screen wash, then this cover lifts off and you've got your power steering fluid and your radiator coolant. You've got your brake fluid reservoir, oil filler and oil dipstick, and then you do have your earth. And if you put your key in here just behind the passenger headlight and lift it up, this cover, you've got your positive there for giving or receiving a jump start. And because this is built on the Alco chassis, you've got your weight here, so 3.5 ton gross vehicle weight, 5.5 ton train weight, so you can pull 2 ton behind the motorhome. So that's the motorhome, and whatever you're pulling can't exceed 5.5 ton all in. So once inside the vehicle, this is your main 12 volt control panel. So if you hooked up, you'll see a little picture of a hookup lead just in the top left hand corner, and then you've got your 4 buttons. So you've got the master switch, which either turns on 12 volt if you're not hooked up and you're wild camping, or it'll turn on mains 240 volts. So you just press there and it'll say master on, and then you've got your lights underneath there. So this is the main switch for the lights, then they all are individually switched around the vehicle. You've got the pump in the top right hand corner, so make sure you've got enough water on board and you can turn the pump on and off. And then you've got the awning on and off, which is the light outside of the motorhome. Scrolling left to, you've got your freshwater level, your wastewater level, your tank fill. So if you're filling the vehicle, you want to turn on the tank fill from outside, so you put your pump on the outside to take the water, turn on the tank fill, and it says turn pump on to use this function. So you make sure the pump's on and you can turn on tank fill, pump on, and then it'll say fill in tank and it'll start filling with water. Scrolling further along, you've got your external temperature, so 20 degrees, and your settings. You've got your internal temperature. Your battery select always wants to be the leisure battery. So to work your Aldi heating and hot water panel, so you turn on and off here, so just press once and then you want to press menu and it'll bring you up to this menu. So at the top you've got the house with a thermometer in. This is how hot you want the interior of the motorhome to be. So you can now have it all the way up to 30 degrees by just pressing the plus and the minus. Then below you've got the shower head, so this is indicating water, so how hot you want the water to be. So you've got press plus once and you get half a bar, which is 40 degrees of heating your water, and then you get all the way, which is 60 degrees. Please make sure that you've got enough water in the boiler and that the boiler is closed and not open. Otherwise it's just like boiling a kettle with no water in. You're going to burn the element out, so there needs to be water on board. And then below this is which source you want. So you've got electric here, so you just press plus, so you've got 1 kilowatt of electric, 2 kilowatts of electric and 3 kilowatts, depending on what you're using alongside the heating. So say you're boiling a kettle, it'll depend on if you have it on 1 or 2. Normally in most sites throughout the UK you can have it on 2 kilowatts. Just make sure that you're not using any other high voltage appliance at the time, otherwise you could trip the site. But just ask your site what current they're going to give you and that'll indicate whether you can use 1 or 2 kilowatts. Or sometimes if you're on a super site you can use 3. If you wanted to use gas and electric together, you can of course put the gas on, which is this bottom one here, and you can put that on, and what that'll do is if you're in away and it's really cold, you can use the gas and electric together, which will reduce the time it takes to heat the hot water or the vehicle. Or if you're just away while camping, obviously you wouldn't be using electric, you'd just use the gas and you'd simply switch on like so. So next to your control panel you've got your switch for your bed. So put the key into the horizontal position and then you can turn your bed up or down. So press and hold the button and the bed will come down. So you've got a double bed here,
Ladders in the wardrobe,
and the ladders in the wardrobe, and then press and hold for it to go back up. And then next to it you have your to operate your domestic fridge. So you've got, this is a 3-way fridge. So you've got off at the top, picture of the plug indicates mains hookup. So you've got to be on mains hookup for this to work, and it'll operate like a household fridge. Scrolling down to the battery, and as long as the engine's running, it'll get a 12-volt feed from the engine alternator, but it has to be pre-chilled before on either electric or gas. So, or if you're travelling from site to site, you can put on battery in your shopping. It'll already be pre-chilled, so it'll just keep it nice and fresh, and it'll act as a big cool box when it's on the battery setting. But don't expect to put things in from it not being on and be cold, because it won't happen. It's got to be pre-chilled beforehand on either gas or electric. So what I would do is, if you were getting the vehicle ready, a day or two before, hook it up, it'll charge the leisure battery, put your fridge on. The night before, put your shopping in, allow it to chill overnight, and then when you are ready to come and use the vehicle, pop it onto battery, and it's going to keep the shopping nice and chilled because it's already been chilled the night before. And then if you're wild camping, so you weren't on a site with hookup, you'd go down to the gas, push this in, which is your temperature, push the spark igniter in, and you want to wait until that orange band goes across to the green, and then that is it lit, like so. Now in the washroom, so you've got your wardrobe here with your Aldi expansion tank. So if you were wanting to fill, always run the system up first, and you'll see it's true reading because it's a compression tank. So it'll always read lower when off than it is when it's on, and you'd simply top up via there with the Aldi expansion liquid, and that has a service schedule and a service life as well. So you get so long and you'll need to change it. I think it's every 5 years if I'm right. You've got your ladder for the bed, all your carpets there, and then operate the toilet, make sure the pump's on. You'll press and hold and you'll get your flush. From your reservoir. Always flush first, which lubricates the blade and the seal so it doesn't come brittle. And then to use the toilet, you always want to use it with the blade open. So to open the blade, you slide this to the right. Then use the toilet, and that ensures everything goes into the cassette. And then once you're finished and you're flushed, you slide to the left, and then you can get the cassette out the outside of the vehicle when it's full, which will indicate here underneath the diagram of the cassette. It's just showing that your hot water's getting lovely and warm there, and your water pump's working. And then you do have your shower screens which you tie back before travelling. And then when winterising, if you unscrew the shower head from the hose and allow the hose to lie in the shower tray, and leave all the mixer taps throughout the vehicle in the open position, any water will drain straight out into the waste, which the waste would be open. Underneath your side facing lounge seat is where you'll find all your RCDs, so your trips on mains electric and your 12-volt fuses. So I would carry some spare blade fuses with you, just in case one of the fuses does decide to blow. You can just pop a new one in. So you'll need 10, 5s, 15 and 20 amp fuses to carry with you for all your 12-volt appliances. But if you've tripped the vehicle out, try here before you try your main site. Underneath the large flap on the floor, you have 2 leisure batteries. So you've got 2 banger batteries which are 100 amp hours each. Underneath this one you have your waste, so if you want to clean the tank out, you can gain access to there and clean the tank out and put your solution through it and then let it out from the outside. And at the back here you have your fresh water. So to allow the fresh water out, say you've taken on contaminated water, you're draining down for the winter, or you're simply not using the van for a couple of weeks, you just pull, there's a red plug on a chain, you just pull that out and the water will drain directly out underneath the chassis of the vehicle. So this just shows your lounge in the made up position, and then we'll show you how to make the bed below your electric drop down bed. So the first thing you do is drop your table down, so you'd arch it to 90 degrees and the little groove will come out of the rail, and you want to put onto this one. But you also want to press the button on the leg to fold the leg in half. Pull this seat out to meet and put the board in here so it clips onto the fixtures that are on the front of the seat. And on here, so you just slide out to there, and then you'd use the infill cushion, so we'll put the base back here. Put the backrest there, and you'd use your infill cushion, so you've got one big one here to go along the back. This one will wedge in the middle. And there you have your double bed underneath the electric drop down. So underneath your travelling seats at the back is where your Aldi boiler lives. So your boiler holds 10 litres of water at any one time. In the winter it's very important that you drain it off. because your water container on your boiler, if the water freezes, it will break the boiler, and the Aldi boilers are very expensive and not covered under warranty. So what you've got to ensure you do is lift this up. So make sure the pump's off, so come in with no power, and then you simply lift this up so it's horizontal. So from horizontal to vertical. Leave it stood up during the time you've got the vehicle in storage. You'll see 10 litres of water drain directly out underneath the chassis. Like it is now, you can hear it. Ensure it's stood up during the time you've got it stood up and not being in use. And then open all the taps throughout the vehicle. Make sure that your fresh plugs being pulled on your tank, your waste's open from outside. And then when you come to reuse the vehicle, you shut your boiler, put your plug in your fresh tank, shut your waste, shut all the taps throughout the vehicle. Fill it with water via a hose pipe, come in, put the pump on, go to the cold tap. You'll get automatic cold water because it's feeding from the main freshwater tank underneath the van to the tap. Go to the hot tap, and what it's doing is it's drawing from the main tank into here, so it'll spit all the air. It'll spit cough for about 3 or 4 minutes until you get a pressurized flow on the kitchen tap. Then you would do all the other taps. But remember to drain your boiler down, because if not, it's a very expensive mistake to make, and you're looking about 3 to 3.5 grand for one of these boilers. So when in use, stood up. When in not in use, stood up. When in use, lie it down like so. So now in the cab, to the right of the driver you do have your handbrake, and then on the door you've got your electric driver and passenger windows, and then on the front you've got your mirror adjustments. So you've got 2 mirrors on each side. You've got the main mirror and the blind spot, so you can adjust them all from here. And then on the driver and passenger door you've got Remus carb lines, so if you pinch, slide them out, you can black the driver and passenger door out. And you can do the same on the windscreen by pressing and sliding. And then they're just magnetic straps on there, so they just clip together with the strips, and then they would just slide back. And then you do have your headlight adjustment and rear fogs, your trip computer, so it'll go through your instant average consumption, your travelling times, your range, your distance travelled, your time travelled, A and B from there on the end of your wiper stalk. Your steering wheel controls, your lights and indicators, and then at the bottom you've got cruise control, so you turn it on, you get your desired speed and you push it up. You push up to accelerate, pull down to slow down, and if you cancel it, you can press with the brake or on the end of the stalk, and then to reset you just push it back up once you've got to the speed you want to reset it back to. 6-speed manual gearbox, so you lift up into reverse, brings on your reverse camera and your reverse sensors, but you've always got this on no matter if you're in first or you're in 6th gear. This is always on. Hazard lights, locks the doors, including the habitation door on this model, and you do have your heated mirrors, 12 volt points, lockable glove box with USB and auxiliary just here for the head unit. And then you have got your temperature on the outside ring, fan speed on the in, must be on at least 1 or more for the aircon to work, which is this one here. And then you do have your distribution, so face, feet or screen, and then on the inside ring you've got your circulation, so whether you're bringing fresh air in or recirculating air, you can change that. Radio, so FM, AM, press 1 to 6 to save your favourite channels, otherwise media is auxiliary or USB. You can connect your phone by pressing phone, connect the phone, add a phone, and you want to find my car, make sure the pins match. Press pair on your phone, and then it'll ask you if you want to download your phone book content. Just press allow, and it'll save all your contacts, so you can scroll through your contacts and ring somebody through the head unit. You've got volume, and then this is obviously your browse and your scroll. You've got a clipboard there, so you can clip site reservations on there. And then with the air conditioning, this glove box is heated and cooled, so if you've got anything for on the road. Little chocolates or sweets, you can put them in there. And then on there as well, if I just tilt you down, you'll also see you've got your Bailey approach tags. So this is all about your weight. So it's a approach compact 540. Its MTPLM is 3.5 ton, which is his gross vehicle weight. It tells you how much your mass and running order is, and your tyre pressures are on here as well. Got another glove box there, and obviously you've got your lockable one here.